Steve Walls here alongside Darren Smith. We appreciate you guys always hanging out with us, whether it's pregame, our pregame cheat sheet show, or our postgame. Darren, the Chiefs defeat the San Francisco 49ers 28-18 right here at their own house in Santa Clara, California, in Levi Stadium.
So,
how are you today?
I don't know if this is Arrowhead, Southwest, South California. Yes, I look. All I know is it doesn't get tiresome of beating teams in their own place.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are now 5-0 in their last 5 matchups, twice in the Super Bowl, and of course 3 times here. So it was good win.
You talk about 5-0. They're now 6-0 for this season. Let's start with today's game, man. What do you think? I'll ask you first. What would you grade this team today?
Ooh, I give him a solid B. I can't give him an A because of the turnovers from the quarterback. Now, not saying it's his fault, but he averages more interceptions than he does touchdowns, for the season. So there are some concerns about that and, with the turnovers. But overall, because we talked about a pregame about up and up in the absence of Juju, he went back down today with his hamstring injury. But other players, McCole Hardman stepped up. Scott Moore got a chance to get more rest today. And Noah Gray, big game from him. Yeah. Travis Kelce, as always, is Travis Kelce. And, of course, Kareem Hunt, man. He's, it's such a blessing that fate worked out the way it did for the Chiefs to be able to bring him back. But overall, offensively, I give them a B. As a team, overall, I give them a B. But the defense, they gave us some big plays in the second half and towards the end of the first half, and some late points that were granted to the 49ers. But the Chiefs, they still haven't given up. They only give up 18 points, and that's still, not as many points as I think the most points they've given up since the Super Bowl era, since they won, was like 31 or 35 against the Eagles. So this is, good showing by the Chiefs defense as well. So overall, I give them a B for today's game.
Okay, you give him a B. Patrick Mahomes today, 16 of 27, 154 yards, 2 interceptions, a donut in the touchdown column for passing. I think, and I'll ask you in a second, but I feel like that going, further on into the season can pose a problem.
Oh, of course. Well, again, that's I posted on Twitter, and I'll say the same thing as I say on Twitter, is that Mahomes has to get his stuff together. You can't keep chancing playing with the church's tithes and offerings, with that football like that, because yes, it didn't hurt him today because of the defense and they came out with the win.
Yeah.
But you can't have that type of play or those type of turnovers when playoff time come around, or in a big game that could determine, granted they have a 2-game lead, but could determine home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So you want to get it cleaned up. And look, and I know, receiver fell down, the ball was tipped, but you still got to be a little bit more clean in how and where you put the football, place the football.
About 8 guys were targeted today.
Yeah.
And leading all receivers, Noah Gray, 4 66 yards, 0 touchdowns. We talked about guys stepping up. We saw McCole Hardman. We saw Sky Moore in on a lot of, a lot of reps, right?
Yeah.
Because people talked about, the Chiefs need to go and get a wide receiver. They need to bring someone new in. They didn't get some people who they thought that people thought they would get, right before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And my thing is this: do you feel like this team is comfortable with who they have?
As constructed, talking to the players post-game, including McCole Hardman, yes. Now, Brett Veach wouldn't be doing his job if he didn't get on the phone and make calls and inquire about some stuff. I did talk to Brett at halftime, and just to assure people, he did contact the Raiders regarding Devontae Adams. They said they're not going to trade within the division, so that's in the conversation.
Yeah.
He did inquire about Amari Cooper. They wanted a second-round draft pick. His feeling was, and it made a lot of sense, Darren, we just didn't want to give up a second round for a player that we wasn't going to have after this season.
Yeah.
So I get it. So people want to bash Brett about that. I thought that he should have at least make an effort. I think the Bills are doing like a 3 or something like that. So I'm not, talking to Brett. I'm fine with that. And he also said that the reality of it is that teams. It's not that they don't want to trade with the Chiefs or do business with the Chiefs. It's just that they don't like the Chiefs' draft position because they draft so low.
Well, of course.
And so, I mean, that's a good problem to have when you can't say, because that means you're advancing deep to the playoffs, Super Bowl champion.
Of course.
But when you're trying to construct your team and try to get back to that area, that's where the little give and take. So one thing that he told me is that it may be a couple more weeks before, they can pull a trigger or something, because what might end up happening is that a team might end up calling them. So it basically, in his role, it's different if a team is calling you because they're trying to unload somebody versus you inquiring about somebody because they feel like, they can get more out of you. So
of course.
That's where we're at.
That makes sense. Buyers, sellers. Yep. Talk about the defense. Justin Reed. Jay Reed led all tackles, 6 tackles, 3 assists, man. And 1 interception. Had a couple of young guys with interceptions, man, including Jaden Hicks, man. What are you seeing from this defense, especially on the back end?
Look, man, talk to Nick Bolton, talk to Travis, I talked to all these players. Man, they love the next man up mentality. And as it relates to the defense, Spags, talked to Jay Reed before he went to the podium. They just have a trust factor, man. Spags trust him, with the calls that he's making out there. Quickly, Nick had told me when I interviewed him, that Spags called plays that he hadn't called in months. Basically, wasn't since back in training camp. But he had enough confidence in these players to reach back 2-3 months, to call a play in today's game that worked out for him. And look, and the fact that, as you talked about, you've got these players. I mean, you got rookies. I think there was another one. Chris had also got an interception.
Roland Wallace.
Yeah, Roland Wallace. And you talk about Jay Nixon, of course, but it all started with Justin Reed. And Justin said he's trying to get a pick 6. So I can't wait for that. But just the fact that, that domino effect, where one player started and another one, and then, and I can't lie, Brock Purdy did put him in some, did put him right there in the bread basket, so it's pretty good. But no, man, this defense is just, it's something to behold, man. I am really glad that the Chiefs did not allow. And look, there's a reason why folks there's a reason why 49ers coach was trying to get Spags, because he hadn't resigned. They were trying to get him to come over here after the Super Bowl loss. They were trying to sign him up, and so
of course,
very thankful that Clark Hunt and I don't think they ever were going to let him out, but you just got to be in a situation where they re-signed him and kept him here. So I'm very just happy that Chiefs got their man.
And you mentioned Spags. This is the thing that I noticed today, especially. You're getting midfield. Chiefs, go for the fake punt on fourth and 1. But you can do that when you've got a defense who at least will, at the bare minimum, hold this 49ers offense to 3 points.
I get it. I don't like the call, because if you're going to go for it, it's 4th and 1, just put the ball in Mahomes' hand and put it in Kareem's bread basket. I mean, any other time, you got them going for it. I mean, because at the end of the day, make them stop it. And look, even if you don't get it, I mean, they still got the ball where it was at. And so
just through interception, it's kind of like you got on the fourth down.
Yeah. So I mean, it's Monday morning quarterback, obviously, because we just got through playing. Got through playing the game, and it was successful in how the game, the outcome was. But at the end of the day, I don't like that play. Yeah, I would have just preferred, like, if for me, Kareem Hunt has showed, and we saw it down in the end zones, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. You're getting the football. I mean, until proven otherwise. And the other thing too, I didn't like to call them 3rd and 1, and they had done it again. It was 3rd and 1, and Patrick threw the ball. Like, just run the football. Because if not, run the football, get the first down, and then you can throw and do whatever you're gonna do. So I mean, for me, if it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, just put the ball and give the ball to Kareem or P-Ryan, somebody, and just get the first down, and then extend the play.
Yeah, I can agree. The Chiefs defeat the San Francisco 49ers right here inside of Levi Stadium, Santa Clara, California, 28-18. Darren, next week they're moving to play the Las Vegas Raiders. Can they build on this game?
Yeah, it's funny talking to the players in the locker room. I did ask about the whole undefeated 20-0, but I asked me in a way, they're the last undefeated team. Going in initial thoughts, they know it's still Chiefs Raiders. They still arrive AFC West, so they still have respect. So they're not overlooking them. They're not playing into the 20-0 aspect just yet. And so, no, I think their mind is in the right spot because they know that the good thing about games like this, even though they win, Patrick making those mistakes, you get somebody like Andy Reid, he can bring him in on Tuesday, starting Wednesday. Hey, look at the film. Saying this is where we need to get better. So they can always be coached up. They can always be better until they play a perfect game, which normally doesn't, have until maybe Super Bowl, something like that. There's always something that you can improve on to where, it'll keep their attention and they won't overlook an opponent. So let me get your thoughts. The Chiefs, what kind of grade would you give them today?
I would give them an A, and here's why I say that. I really feel like they're finding different ways to win. We look at the, we look at the defense. The defense was able to get interceptions today. That wasn't something that they did early on in the season.
That is true.
Right?
Yeah,
so
because we just talk about the fact that they were making stops, but they weren't getting.
Yeah. So I think that is a different way that you're able to help out the offense, even though Patrick Mahomes, of course, throwing interceptions. And you look around the whole league, all these quarterbacks aren't playing particularly well because people always thought, well, Patrick Mahomes, the MVP race is not going to be there, right?
Yeah.
None of these quarterbacks are playing well. You look at Jalen Hurts today. You look at, I know Deshaun Watson. All these guys, Dak Prescott, all these guys are not playing particularly well. Josh Allen, who people, are always saying every year that he's the number one. Patrick Mahomes is still in the running. He's still helping his team. He's still leading his team to win. So I would give them an A.
Actually, this though. We talked about a pregame, wide receivers, players stepping up. We talked about Noah Gray. We talked about Watson. But Sky Moore got a lot of reps in today's game. I think he may got a couple of targets, whatever. Just your thoughts on that, on Sky Moore and McCall Hardman contributing to today's win.
I think you always need somebody to step up. You need guys to be able to step up when other guys. And look, we talked about it. It's always next man up. It's always next man up and next man that can help this team get a win. And as we're having to move on to the side of the field,
that's fine. That's how we do.
Look, these guys are.
Oh yeah. No.
These guys are wanting to.
This is live, people. This is how we do. This is live.
Just put your reference on the cement. So either up here or over there.
Gotcha.
The approved standard.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. All right, thank you. All right, we're gonna. This is live. This is how we do it. So.
All right, so exactly what I was saying, but I would give them an A today.
Really?
Yeah.
Even with the turnovers?
Even with the turnovers, I'll still give them an A. You're finding different ways to win. You still have to make sure that you're able to get a win. Those turnovers could easily create an L, right? Yeah. So I just feel like an A is what you need.
Your initial thoughts on next week's game against the Raiders?
Is this still a rivalry?
It's always been. Last time they played,
I feel like the Raiders are waving the white flag. They gave up their number one player. They don't have a quarterback.
But we thought that last year too, and they came in the Arrowhead and knocked the Chiefs off.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think it's a rivalry anymore, if you ask me.
I don't think it's a rivalry either, but you still got to respect them.
Yeah, and
the players do too. I guess it's our job to, kind of hype it up. But make sure you join us tomorrow night for the Red Hour. Steve doing it at 6:30 with Steve Walls, myself, DJ Q, and Uncle Sean. And follow us on social media at Steve Walls KC, at Darren Smith WP. And of course, next week we'll be live at Arrowhead West, or as they call it, Legion Stadium, where the Chiefs will take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Our pregame show will begin at 12:30 local time, which is 2:30 Kansas City time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably be, well, it was going to be the game of the week for CBS, but we got flexed out for somebody else.
I'm sure.
Because of the Raiders, like you said.
I'm sure.
Giving them up. But, Steve, any final words?
Just appreciate everyone who always joins in, watching our pregame show, our postgame show, and we see your messages. Yeah, the stadium crew hating on us, man. They know what time it is. They knew that they're upset about the L. Had they won, they'd have kids out here running around. They'd have, So
5-0. I mean,
6-0.
Well, 6-0, I guess,
Yeah.
However many times it takes, this is, hold on, I'm trying to think. When's the last time the Chiefs lost here?
I don't remember.
Ain't that long?
Yeah.
Oh, but next week, though, they take on the Cowboys. So, I mean, hey, we kind of got it right for you all. Come in, do your thing. You coming off a bye week, you know what I'm saying? They licking their wounds. They 3-4. You got a chance to make them 3-5, Cowboy fans.
All right, guys. Until tomorrow, remember, catch us tomorrow night, 6:30 to 7:30, the Red Hour. Myself, Darren Smith, Sean Tyler, also DJ Q, right back here, wherever you're watching us from. Appreciate you. We're out of here.
Peace.